Let's see if they can turn two. There's one. And there's two.
Pretty big fish to fry. Pretty big fish to fry. My. It's pretty big fish to fry. It's pretty big fish to fry. My. Last weekend I barely thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take time and give some love a try. I was alive. My.
Oh, everybody, it is Wednesday, August the 2nd, 2017. You are checking out the premier sports and beer podcast coming to you from all over this great nation, roots in Jersey. It's the Turn 2 podcast. Thanks for taking the time, everybody. As we had commentary earlier on the different apparel that our panel has been wearing. So before we do any of that, let's...
Why don't you go back home to your street malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh, yeah! The greatest beer in all the world!
Somebody from the bar?
Yeah, I like cold beverage, yeah. I like cold beverage, yeah. I like cold beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of parched. Stick it in the fridge, 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 stick it in the fridge.
So tonight, I went sour on you. I don't know that we've done one of these yet on this show, but I'm rocking the Vermonter Weiss from 14th Star Brewing Company. For those of you that are watching on Facebook Live, you can see the can. It is a sour beer that checks in at a whopping 3.5% alcohol.
Delicious. Sorry, I'm moving my stool. I'm a fucking savage.
So that's what I'm drinking, and then the Savage over there in his New York Football Giants T-shirt,
in the DC flag. Suck it, DC.
From the nation's capital. What do you got, bud?
You know what? We're gonna do something unique tonight here on Facebook Live. We're gonna do we can't do viewer's choice because we don't have any viewers, but we could do panel choice. So
his mic's definitely not working. Am I right?
No, I hear him just fine.
Yeah, what do you mean my mic's not working?
You sound very, very echoey and not very direct.
Yeah, no, it's probably your computer mic. But continue with this, and then you fix it.
So we got Optimum, Corona, or Pacifico.
I vote Pacifico.
Guido?
Sure.
Bubs?
I'll take that one too. I'll take the Pacifico too.
Okay, Pacifico it is.
All right, now fix your mic. Nikki J, what do you got besides showing off the traps and the biceps this evening? The naps. Besides showing off the naps this evening, what do you got?
Well, it's Hall of Fame induction this week, and my boy Jason Taylor getting inducted, so I got some Land Shark Lager. Fins up.
Now, is he going in as a Jet?
I don't think so.
Because he had one rather
son of a bitch
season as a Jet.
He played for the Redskins.
Did he?
That was a forgettable year, yeah.
Every year when you play on the Redskins is forgettable as far as I'm concerned.
Good point. Bubs.
What's up? I'm drinking Keep It Mellow.
Nice.
Stay mellow.
So I have a question. For you.
Trademark that?
I like the label. That's a good label.
I have a question for you beer guys. You beer guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's my mic?
It's better.
Better.
Yeah. It's because I was using the default microphone. 2,
still holding your regular mic.
Yeah.
Right. It's a prop.
I see cans like that in various shops around this nation's capital.
I'm sorry, are you saying cans or Pams?
Pans.
Guys,
And
I think I
see,
can
like-
help with the whole.
I see
can
like,
stuff.
just like a silver can with like a little label that had a little bit of thought. Are those all like limited releases? And should I automatically de facto get them because they're never going to come out again?
Ipso facto.
Brett, talk. I want to see the can.
I guess it depends. It really does depend. I mean, they're normally what they're doing now is like when you used to buy like domestics and stuff like that, it came in like a generic can. So all these breweries now are canning their own beers. So it doesn't always mean it's a limited release. It just means it's more than likely like canned by them or canned by an outside company that they hired to come in and run a canning line.
It's kind of a shame because I feel like there's a missed market segment for the guy on late night like QVC who's like, we've got a limited edition Magnify Brewing rookie card. Be calling people.
Be dialing. It smells like a brand new yo-yo in there.
We've got a limited edition Mark McGuire rookie card.
There was an awesome, one of the funniest radio bits I ever heard was on O&A when they were, it was back when Britney Spears just released like the Hit Me Baby One More Time. And he was like,
We got Britney Spears virginity. Be dialing.
When she was like a smoking hot 18-year-old and claimed to be a virgin.
right.
She's hot again.
She's hot again?
Yeah, she's come full circle. Well, she got a little weird. She went through like a Miley Cyrus, phase where she just got all weird and shaved her head and shit and got a little plump.
I just like how legitimately like Justin Timberlake and her were like the pop power couple, and like she went off the deep end and Timberlake became like a legitimate businessman and actor and like entrepreneur and
no, she's had a sold out show nightly in Vegas for like
a
couple of years.
teller.
Yeah, but that's good money. Like it's not that ain't I mean I'm with you. Timberlake is the fucking
She married a backup dancer.
I can't even swipe my credit card in there.
Nick's like, who's Britney Spears?
I'm just gonna pass on this conversation.
Come on, it was gold. It was gold. I actually have to jump off on your canning conversation from before. I have a friend of mine, Maura, her cousin does that. He goes from brewery to brewery. He has his own canning equipment, or the company he works for does, and they do the whole canning. And then when the brewery gets big enough and they want their own canning line, what the companies like his do is they sell them the equipment that they currently use, and then they upgrade and they continue to go through the cycle. So a lot of like smaller breweries don't can their own stuff, and then when they get the capital to do so, they buy from the guy that did their canning.
Like
that probably makes sense, right?
Like when Brett made beer, terrible beer, and tried to can it.
It was not terrible. It was good. I brought Dave a can one time at a concert. And so what happened was I went to this place in Freehold where you have to brew your own beer, which I thought was a lot of fun at the time, right? So it comes out and we do it and I finish it and I bottle everything. And so I brought this bottle out to this concert and I was like, dude, you got to try it. It's pretty good. Like I mimicked it off of this beer. I think it's fantastic. I open it up. I realized I didn't oxidize that bottle. So it was just this done, gross, disgusting liquid that had like unfermented stuff in it. And it was horrible.
It was just the wort.
Yeah, it wasn't the way like it just wasn't oxidized yet. And
this is what happened. My wife was there, and she worked in the beer industry at the time, and she literally, I was like, all right, Brett, and I go like this. I just spit it everywhere. And she's like, what's wrong with it? And smells it. She's like, it's not oxidized, Brett. And Brett's like, oh shit.
They make you do like you wind up doing, probably a couple hundred bottles.
It was like when I was a sleepaway camper and I grabbed the Pepsi can because I was a fat little sausage at like 11 and I saw a Pepsi can, but little did I know it was my counselor's dip can. And I took a huge That's what it was comparable to.
Whatever, yeah, Paul. That's disgusting.
The counselor said as you did it. You're like, this is gross. What camp was this? This was the heavyweights camp that you were at?
Yeah.
Ben Stiller was the
I got it. It's my favorite movie.
That's a weird movie to be your favorite movie.
I mean, I have a lot of favorites.
I heard that about you. All right. Let's jump into some actual sports conversation. So
single white female.
The age, sex, location. The
threesome.
the last time we were on the show, I believe, Brett, you had talked about the Yankees should go out and get Sonny Gray.
I did say that.
Since our last show, the Yankees have gone out and gotten Sonny Gray.
All right.
So let's talk a little bit about the moves that happened in baseball. Not just the Yankee stuff, but, why don't you lead us through a couple of things that you think, actually made a difference at the deadline and stuff that'll have some impact.
Definitely the Yankees getting Sonny Gray. I hope that makes an impact. That's the one thing. I think last week I listed off their pitchers for next year, and I think it was basically Luis Severino and if Tanaka opts in.
And Montgomery.
Possibly. Depending. He might not win a job out of spring training.
Supposedly.
But they're not, they weren't in great shape pitching-wise. They finally have retooled this team, and I think they're really great, especially with prospects. They're really great with everything, but they kind of need an arm or two to keep going, and especially winning a short series in the playoffs. So Cashman went out and did that, and he got Sonny Gray, and we gave a couple people away. I guess the prize of it was Jorge Mateo, but I didn't see a path to the majors for him. You have a young shortstop in Didi Gregorius, and then Gleyber Torres. And then Mateo.
Is it really giving somebody up when like the bottom line just says and 2 minor leaguers?
Yeah,
Did it really say that, like the national bottom line. That's what it said.
Yeah, it was like, oh, Yankees trade for Sonny Liston and 3 minor leaguers. Who cares with a name like Sonny, guys? I mean, I can't take him seriously. I keep thinking of Adam Sandler's character in Big Daddy.
I do too.
It's like I can't take him seriously. Sonny, I can't do it.
You're right. It's just minor leaguers, and I'm probably more tuned into this than anybody else. It was just they did have high promise. Kaprelian, Tommy John surgery. I'm not too mad about giving a pitcher up off of Tommy John surgery. I'm just really not. I think that was fine. And Dustin Fowler, that was unfortunate. We were about to see him this year debut, and he runs into.
Well, we did see him debut. We just didn't see him bat.
Yeah,
right. I mean, he played the field, and then. What did he
ruptured his patellar.
Ruptured his, yeah.
And that's, and so that's it. Those are the guys. And to get what I view Sonny Gray as is a number 2 or a high number 2 starter in a rotation. And that's that's a great move for me to do that at the major league level. Now, Gray doesn't come without injury concerns either. So he has some issues in his past. So we're taking a gamble just as well. But I liked the move. I think the Dodgers made a huge move in getting Yu Darvish. They're already the best team in baseball. I think they're on pace for 114 wins, which is just 2 off the Mariners.
Which is completely meaningless unless they win a World Series.
Absolutely. But then going out and acquiring a pitcher like Darvish, who hasn't been amazing this year, but has a very long history of being.
That's like when they got Nomo. Come on.
I think it's a little different, but
similar because they're both of Asian descent.
So wait, it's similar because
what? Same.
Nick, shut up. At least contribute to the conversation instead of just flexing your traps the whole time.
It's naps, by the way.
I'm gonna do some pull-ups after this. Hold on.
Here's my question about, and then I'm gonna segue back into Darvish. With Sonny Gray, right? You look at the breakdown of his career. He's a career 44 and 36 guy. He had a dumpster fire of a year last year. His ERA for his careers is 3.4, but he had a bad year last year. So if you're Billy Beane, you have this guy under control for a couple of years, like why move him? Like it didn't seem like the package that the Yanks gave was overwhelming.
No, I don't think it was overwhelming, but that's what the A's do. That's what the A's do. They trade guys with a couple of years left on their deal, and they net back a ton of prospects. That's Billy Beane 101.
But I don't think they netted back a ton of prospects.
Well, they sold high though because he was playing well. His last 6 starts, his ERA was about 1.4, and I guess Billy Beane was saying, "Hey, his first half of the year and last year he was pretty sucky. So this is the hottest he'll probably ever be. Let me just try to get as much as I can right now, and we'll take it from there."
I'm pretty sure Billy Beane didn't say, "Well, he was kind of sucky."
He might have. Billy Beane might have.
He's like a little,
allegedly.
I don't know about all that.
That's a sabermetric.
Let me ask this question, Jeff. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Or Brett. Definitely not Nick. Yu Darvish or Sonny Gray? Who's the better pitcher?
Like right now or
Yeah,
career?
right now.
Right now, Sonny Gray, but that could change in 3 weeks.
Okay, but I guess are they both on similar? What I'm getting to is, if you're trying to get another stud, you're trying to add to your. Why are you not going after Darvish?
The better deal
He's a
is
free agent.
Free agent. It's a rental. So if you give up the prospects, you gave up 3 prospects.
Idiot. Why don't you pay attention?
I didn't listen. I don't pay attention to all these contracts in baseball.
Well, that's the deal. So you look at it.
I get it now.
From a Yankee perspective, they're going to go out, and if they want to sign Darvish, they'll just sign him.
Right.
I get it.
So
I get it.
In theory, they could have picked up both guys.
Thanks for clarifying.
Was there any other move that made any kind of sense? I thought it was funny that Verlander and Darvish both posted pictures to social media like in their locker rooms, and then Verlander stayed, but Darvish like 10 minutes later got traded.
Yeah. I didn't know. I think Detroit was asking too much for Verlander, and I don't think
They
anybody
threw in they threw in his girlfriend. It would have been a good deal.
Yeah, sure. If Kate Upton comes along, literally,
He's got a lot of money on that contract, though, right?
Yeah, Verlander's owed a lot of money. Yeah.
We got a couple people checking in. Bobby Humphrey checking in, saying the Dodgers versus Yankees World Series would be great for baseball. Got
1955.
You don't think that's true?
I think it would be amazing, but I think it would be amazing because it would have that 1955 feel.
Okay.
You don't think so? Yeah. I mean, you sound like you're the biggest fringe baseball guy that we've got here. Do you think that wouldn't be appealing at a national level, having those two teams in?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, from Major League Baseball's perspective, and as a guy who's worked in the sports industry, you got 2 big national markets. You can't ask for much more there, right? 2 high-profile teams. But I've only really become a fringe baseball guy in the last 5-6 years because I don't get to watch the Yankees at all. And I just kind of stopped watching baseball. And
you don't get to watch them just because you're out of market, and you don't want to cough up the whatever it is for the what is it, the major league ticket or whatever.
Which is funny. I used to, because my roommate at the time back in the day was a big baseball fan, and I was a hockey fan. And they split channels during the season, and also it worked. But I think Brett knows that. But yeah. I just don't want to shell out the money for it. I think the game's a little slow. I don't know, not my favorite. But yeah, I think to answer your question, I think it'd be great. But I don't think it's like any different than Boston and LA.
Yeah, no, I think that would probably sell very well too nationally.
From today's perspective, you're gonna have all the old timers who are like, "Oh, I remember when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn and they used to play." I get that whole thing,
right?
But that doesn't apply to most of the people who are watching baseball these days.
I don't think it applies to anybody. I mean, I don't think there's
but those guys aren't dead.
Yeah, but there can't be a single Dodger fan that's really clinging to those Brooklyn days. I can't.
No. I'm just saying that older generation would have a little bit more nostalgia for that matchup than say most of the people watching now.
Maybe. I don't know.
JR, do you have any opinion?
JR?
JP, not
JR. I haven't seen that guy in months.
Yeah. Gampo, my name is JP, and I don't watch baseball. Thank you.
I was waiting for a Ross impression as you said JR. I thought you were legitimately self-pitching right there. He's asking himself a question. And now he's doing a Paul Bearer impression.
That's my Jibo impression.
Was there anything else that I didn't see in the trade deadline that actually puts somebody in contention that maybe wasn't beforehand that you can think of? Boston went out and got
Addison Reed. Yeah, they took my fantasy closer, and
I don't know if that matters.
It does for my fantasy team because they set him. They stuck him in the bullpen.
Well, that means he'll probably get hurt immediately, right?
Maybe.
He's on your fantasy team.
Yeah.
That's usually how things go for you.
It is.
So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, typically, this time of year is where you really thin the herd and people sold, so they're out, and people bought, so they're trying to make a run. I don't think that the Darvish move was made as a response to the Gray move because the Dodgers are already probably the best team in baseball. But you have to imagine that if those two teams were to meet, those two trades would definitely be very, very much putting a big imprint on that series.
Yeah, I mean, it would. It'd probably be your game 2 matchup, and it's probably your game 1 matchup coming off a game 1 matchup where Kershaw shuts you down.
Can we talk about tonight? the Yankees have been in a rain delay. Nick, you said they were starting the game again. Did they?
They were
start?
about to, and they said around 8 o'clock or so. I mean, that's
So they went
a 5-hour delay.
They went into a delay. I think it was 4 something, like 4:30 or something like that. Like what? Why? Why?
Yeah, the top of the ninth, 2-0.
This one is because Detroit doesn't come back for the rest of the year. So not playing this game, the only option is to call it, and
they don't want
that goes to the discretion of both clubs. With the home club obviously wanting to be like, it's a 2-0 game, give us 2 more cracks at it, we can get a win here.
Right.
So if it was 9-0, I think they would have been like,
game blouses.
Yep, let's get on a plane and go home. But or the
so
Yankees are going
both clubs have to agree to wave the towel.
Yeah.
You should wave the towel with that.
The problem with it is the purpose of having the 1 o'clock Wednesday game is that they get the chance to fly early, and now they're going to have to get on a night plane and fly, and then get out to Cleveland whatever time, and then kind of
Oh my God.
a little
You know
bit.
what?
I mean, it's going to be.
You just stepped on my dick for an unbelievable joke, and then you came up with that great analysis of a 1-hour flight to fucking Detroit to play Cleveland tomorrow in the same time zone. Grow up.
Listen, be horrible on their charter plane in the Four Seasons hotel.
And I was gonna make some other flag waving joke. So both teams have to wave the flag. Nothing. I set it up again. He tries. He has a chance to. Instead, he shoves food.
Is that meatloaf? What do you mean?
They'd be waving flags.
Tuna fish.
Face. You really? Do you want to tell the joke? Tell
Tuna fish. What am I, a cat?
I was gonna make a comment about your asshole Chili's fucking softball sweatshirt. Who cares?
That's right. Jersey's first. It's got my name on the back.
Do you play currently?
No, this is like 12 years old.
Is that number 99, Aaron Judge?
Number 90. Was my important number.
Fits you well.
Thanks. That means I need to lose some weight.
No. Oh, does it? All right.
Well, 10 years ago is not exactly.
Brett's shirt is so small he's busting out of his arms.
They ripped off when I sat down. I'm doing this to honor the. You guys see that picture of Charlie Weiss in his suit today?
Oh my God! What was that?
It literally looked like his suit was about to explode.
That's every day in the life of Chris Christie.
Wow, Charlie Weiss might be. I mean, he could be a body double for Chris Christie. I mean, it's pretty darn.
Think, yeah. Who would play Charlie Weiss and Chris Christie in a movie?
Charlie Weiss and Chris Christie.
The question is,
Beach whales.
Who's more likely to have a movie based on their life, Charlie Weiss or Chris Christie?
Great. They're both compelling arguments.
Christie.
I say Christie too.
Just the last 6 months alone was good enough for a movie.
Yeah. I think Christie's is more mainstream, like Hollywood film, but I think you could do one about Charlie Weiss, the rise and fall of Charlie Weiss, that might like win at Sundance.
You could do a wonderful period piece on Charlie Weiss
with Brady Quinn.
They're gonna focus on his Kansas football days.
Yeah, those were stellar.
That's it. 2.5 hours of Kansas football,
or his Booton High School football days, because
they made that movie already. Wasn't it Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, it was Texas.
I know, stupid. That was a bomb.
That was a bomb. Let's talk about Chris Christie in our Who Cares segment. So
ooh, fun.
He's been all over the news lately. In New York, he's been all over the news because he's trying to take the afternoon drive spot on the Fan. But he was on the news lately because his son works for the Brewers, and he was at a Brewers game, and some jackass in a Cubs jersey was like, "You suck," and you're a hypocrite or whatever. And this fatso just walks up to him, and it's all on video because everybody in the world has a video camera. And he just gets up into the guy's face, and he's like, "You're a tough guy, huh? You're a tough guy." But he's literally cradling nachos in his hand, like it's an atomic bomb. He's like, "I cannot drop my plate of supersized nachos."
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. His son, is this the same son who just graduated from? I guess he's got to be young, right? Because he was just
my age.
Yeah, so he's like 18.
Yeah, we played against him in Delbarton.
How do you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable?
In Delbarton.
You're like my mom, the way she says Whole Foods.
But get this, the kid played against us, right? And we're at Delbarton, and Chris Christie shows up in a helicopter.
Yes, I've heard that.
Cool story, Hansel.
Which, to be fair, like probably 3/4 of the team's parents showed up in too, because that's how they roll.
Bunch of
Not mine.
pricks, pretentious pricks.
They have the Troy Murphy helipad on the top of the.
Oh, Brett, jealousy is a female trait, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it? I'm not jealous of Del Barton at all.
You should be.
I'm not. But my question is, then where did he go to college? Do we know?
Great question.
Press the button.
He might have went to Notre Dame actually.
Let's find out.
I honestly have no. Where's our intern? Get our intern on it.
But I think to me this falls under the who cares category because the mainstream media just can't get enough of guys like that.
Who cares? He went to Princeton.
Of course he did. I wonder how he got in there.
I have a question for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
The afternoon slot for the Fan. I know he kind of flies under the radar, but I've been listening to Mark Malusis a lot in the morning. I like him a lot.
I liked him this morning. He was on with Bart Scott.
He's been on all week. Yeah.
I think Bart Scott's been pretty good too. He's actually looking for a job because they threw him off of at the NFL today. Malusis is good. He's been on the radio for a while though.
Yeah, I feel like he's too old for afternoon drive.
I would like to see him go back to Brandon Tierney. I think Brandon Tierney's good too.
I'm BT.
You know.
Shut up, Brandon Tierney.
He does a show. He does a show with stupid Tiki Barber.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want Joe and Evan there. They deserve it.
Never happen. If it does, it'll be like Conan O'Brien taking over the Tonight Show. They'll be there for like 2 weeks, and they'll be like, "Yeah, by the way, we're gonna bring Mike and Chris back."
Yeah, you don't ever want to be. You don't want to be the guy that replaces the guy. You want to be like the second guy.
See, I disagree. I think if they brought the right show in there and it was actually entertaining, I think it would win.
But you can't say any of those shows and beat Kay.
Yeah, I think it would.
Kay just beat Francesa that last month for the.
I'm
first time
confident if they put us in that time slot and let us do our thing, we would beat Kay.
What if they move Boomer and Carton to the afternoon? Although Boomer can't do that probably because you've got too many.
And you want morning drive. That's where you get the most paid and the most exposure.
Yeah.
So that you it's a step back.
Excuse me, Mr. fucking radio ratings.
Yeah, I'm just
not
telling
so
you,
fast, Pat Sajak.
Just telling you how the biz works. Just telling you how the biz goes.
Biz.
Oh, you're in the biz. Okay.
So Michael Jordan came out.
Thank God.
And said, I guess he was at a camp of kids, and he was asked about LeVar Ball. And he basically said, I don't want to give this the time of day, but because you asked the question, I'll answer it. I don't think he could beat me if I was one-legged. And the whole gym just erupted in laughter.
Here's the problem with it, and this is why he didn't want to answer it. I'm guessing if I'm Michael Jordan, because now everybody's gonna be looking to LeVar for the retort, and now he's just keep staying in the fucking limelight. Oh, yep. Keep this guy relevant. Michael Jordan said he could beat you in one-legged, and he's gonna say something stupid. And then someone's going to pull footage of him like losing to a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. And they're going to be like, see, you already lost to a one-legged guy.
So loyal Turn 2 listener, he might even still be watching on Facebook. Anthony Sanfilippo checked in this morning with me, said he had he wanted to save the world some time. And here's a list of LeVar Ball's latest upcoming claims. Number one, if I wasn't so busy coaching youth basketball, Bonds' home run record would be mine. Number two, if Earnhardt wasn't dead, I'd take him at Daytona.
I like that he's reaching for across all markets. Like he's going Southern and NASCAR.
Number three, Tiger in his prime would need a handicap to beat me at Augusta. And I think this one's probably the best one. Nadal stopped practicing on grass because I was allergic to clay.
Oh my God, those are great. They're brilliant.
I like him a lot.
LeVar Ball is an asshole. I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You're an asshole, sir. He won't hear this because
he doesn't really care because
he doesn't go to iTunes. He doesn't go to iTunes or subscribe or download us on Spotify or LinkedIn.
Or check us out on social media under Turn 2 Podcasts.
Yeah,
LinkedIn. Who's watching us on LinkedIn? What an asshole I am.
Tune in, you dolt.
LinkedIn.
Find us on LinkedIn.
Check my professional profile. It says podcaster 17 to the present.
Jets rookie safety Jamal Adams, when sitting on a panel next to your friend and mine, Commissioner Roger Goodell, called the football field, quote, a perfect place to die.
Cool.
This is overhyped.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
That's this entire segment is. This entire segment is people make a big deal out of stuff that's totally nonsense. Why was this overhyped?
But because he even said the next day, he's like, listen, I wasn't referring to anything about concussions. He was just talking about how passionate he was with playing the game and how he's lived it his whole life. And now he cares about it so much that he feels like that'd be the place he'd, love to just spend his whole life and die. Like that was all the point he was trying to make.
I liken today's media to when you're hanging out with like your good like 3 or 4 buddies who you're really close with, and you really literally bust everybody's balls as hard as you can as soon as they like say something wrong or do something stupid. It's the same thing right now. The guy said one thing and they're like jumping all over him like, oh, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? He's like, God, chill the fuck out. Like, I'm just saying I love football, and if I died on the football field, I'd be okay with that. Contextually, it was wrong, but
I just they immediately tried to link it to like the CTE conversation.
The timing was bad,
but they weren't even discussing it. Like that didn't even come up. Like somebody just connected that dot that wasn't even there.
Some fucking fat slob asking for extra nachos in the fucking back room of the fucking media presser, and then he's like, "I got a great idea. I'm going to connect the 2 dots here. Nachos."
Probably Manish Mehta, douche.
Brett.
So John Bones Jones, he won his comeback fight, and he immediately challenged Brock Lesnar. He's a pro wrestler. Like, why are we still talking about him coming back and fighting in mixed martial arts? Like, is he?
Why would he want to?
For the payday, I guess.
He's getting paid a crap ton from WWE too, and he shows up like once every 2 months.
Guys, you know what this is. This is the first in a series of attempted spinoffs of the McGregor-Mayweather situation. That's all this is.
In what way?
In crossing over, like this is like, first of all,
but he already did it.
This was the plot of Rocky 3.
Pretty much.
So,
okay. So this has already been done. Hulk Hogan and Rocky already fought.
Thunderlips is Brock Lesnar. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Thunderlips.
I'm just saying, this is just like, oh, okay, McGregor, mixed martial, he's fighting a boxer. You know what? I'm a mixed martial. I'm going to call out Brock Lesnar. Like, this is...
Yeah, except for the fact that Brock Lesnar legitimately has been a UFC heavyweight champion.
Yeah, but not for a long time.
Yeah, but he's got more credential in the world of MMA than what's-his-face has in boxing.
We're going to find out on August 26th.
Are we? Are we really going to find out on August 26th?
No, we're all going to be...
No.
We're going to feed the machine, and I'm going to drive down to Florida and watch it with Brett.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Are you going to really do that?
Fuck no.
Disappointing.
Who cares?
Steph Curry was caught on video imitating one of those stupid LeBron James workouts, and Kyrie was there laughing, and it's a big deal.
What? I mean, I totally agree with the who cares, but
no, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal that Kyrie
was funny. There's a bigger deal that I'm sitting here eating whole tuna fish during a podcast. Fucking write that down.
Screw the Kyrie laughing part. I don't care about that. But that was really funny what Steph did. So to me, I think it's a fucking funny story.
You know what? Hold on. You guys have talked about this a little bit, but in all seriousness for a minute, can you really blame Kyrie?
No.
For what? For wanting to leave?
We talked about this last week. You should have listened to the show.
I did. It was like a little slow for me, though.
That's because there was maybe nobody there interrupting every
time. Nick, shut up. Forget it.
Can I blame him? No, I can't blame him.
The top 10 player.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
He's definitely a top 10 offensive player.
Didn't even make third team All-NBA this year, did he?
Does it matter?
Yeah, because he's in the shadow of LeBron. He thinks he's a top 10 player, and he should be out on his own. Plus, LeBron's going to go. Anyway, go ahead. Who cares? Whatever.
I was just reading this article on ESPN called Banana Boat 2018.
That sounds like what I'm going to go on vacation next year.
And all it's talking about is all the scenarios in which LeBron, Melo, CP3, and D Wade can come together in 2018 and all the teams. So they'd lay out a Houston scenario, an LA Lakers scenario, a New York Knicks scenario.
Super involved.
It's actually pretty interesting.
Surprising
about that.
There's no Memphis Grizzlies scenario.
No, there is no.
Right, who's fitting all their salaries on one team though? For real.
It's interesting.
By that time, Dwayne Wade will be making like 35 cents on the dollar.
Yeah,
It's
but
funny,
he's not gonna take that.
In all 3 or 4 scenarios, D Wade takes the cash consideration, whatever that is.
He took a pay cut by leaving Miami because there's no state income tax in Florida.
Yeah.
But he went. The big push for him, I think, there was that his kid lives in Chicago.
Oh,
And
great. His kid. How responsible of him.
And he grew up in Chicago.
Started on that shit.
Bad. It's bad that he wants to go near his kid. Sorry, I wasn't aware.
Oh, I'm sorry. He wants to
jerk.
go, okay, I'm sorry. He wants to go near his kid now, retroactively. I don't know enough about the story to really chime in.
Well, let me kind of give you a little heads up. I think he got divorced and his wife took the kid and moved to Chicago.
Okay, fine. That's different. Fine.
He got divorced because he was banging Gabrielle Union.
Right.
Okay, maybe that's not so.
Whoa. Let's not make assumptions here.
Allegedly. Yeah, slid into her DMs is what.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
Remember when J.R. Smith did that?
what was
That one girl, he's like, "You trying to get the pipe?"
trying to get a pipe.
Wait, was J.R. Smith caddying for Jason Day today, by the way? Or was that another
Day?
tall black basketball player who looks like J.R. Smith?
Well, J.R. Smith's like I think almost a scratch golfer, so it absolutely could have been him.
There was a thing on Instagram where it looked like he was celebrity caddying for Jason Day.
On whose Instagram? On Day's Instagram?
I can't remember. It might have been like Golf Channel or something like that.
So I know that he's actually a good golfer. But if you're a pro golfer, like, would you want J.R. Smith giving you any kind of advice?
No. But on Wednesdays, a practice round or a pro-am type situation would probably be fun.
But how burnt do you think he is? Right, like he's got to show up just totally baked out of his mind,
wearing no shirt,
wearing no shirt. Like, I think you need the 9-iron here, brah.
Bruh.
Dude, I'm 50 yards from the pin.
Nah, 9-iron, brah.
9-iron, brah.
Wait, I wish he was still on the Knicks, don't you?
He goes, I think you need the pipe here, brah.
I think the Knicks would have been better if they kept him and the guy from House Party.
More like House Party 2.
Who's Sam Hunt?
Shumpert?
Yeah.
I don't think the Knicks would have been better.
No. God, no. God, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You really like J.R. Smith, though?
I kind of did. He was hitting shots. He had a little bit of tats on his neck. He was a little gangster.
He's actually the guy that wants you to think he's gangster, but he grew up like legitimately with complete privilege.
Oh, he's like the guy
Papa
who
Doc.
Eminem. He's Papa Doc. Yeah. You went to Cranbrook, dog.
Well, if he's golfing that much, he must have been.
Yeah, like he went to like a prep school. He's like a scratch golfer.
His real name is Clarence.
No one from the hood golfs. Come on.
Come on.
Hang on.
Come on.
Come on. Hang on.
No matter how hard I try and recreate Brett's laugh there, I'll never be able to do it.
I don't think he could.
No, I can't. I don't know where that came from.
It was guttural.
I don't know how the hell we got onto J.R. Smith caddy.
This is what I do. I derail things.
I think this is the last one in this category. I went all out of order. Julian Edelman and
Yes.
Stefan.
Steven. I think it's
Stepan.
Oh no.
Is he
You're saying it
French?
wrong. It's Stepan.
Stepan.
Oh, step on.
Julian Edelman and Stepan Gilmore went at it during practice and both got thrown out.
So
Belichick has a strict no fighting policy. You fight, you're out.
that's fine.
I love it. I love that somebody
White, you Ben Affleck.
I don't have a problem. Listen, training camp is like, it's hot. These guys are professionals. They don't want to fucking be there. This is like garbage time for them. And then, all it takes is like one guy hitting a guy a little too hard. He takes, he's like, yeah, these hot guys.
And they're going up against each other for like 3 weeks straight, like the same people every day. Get tired of the same people.
Shit, Janoris Jenkins on the Giants got into an argument with like some rookie cornerback right after they finished sprinting. Like they're running sprints and then you see them get into a scuffle at the end of the sprint. It's like, what?
I just feel like every year there's fights at camp.
Always.
And the media just has to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there was a scuffle. There was a scuffle.
There's turmoil.
It's a high-profile player.
There's not turmoil at Patriots camp.
Let's go to Jeff Darlington in New England. Jeff, what do you got for us? Well, Julian Edelman got into a scuffle today.
Shut up. Just go away.
There's football this weekend, isn't there, on Sunday?
Yeah.
Hall of Fame game?
Hall of Fame game.
We get to watch Dak Prescott take one snap or no snaps.
I wouldn't play.
I would say no snaps, right?
Do you think they make Ezekiel Elliott play?
No, the starters don't play in this game.
They totally should make Ezekiel Elliott play.
What do they play?
The first half.
What do they play? Do they play the first like quarter of game 2 and the first half of game 3? Pretty much starters.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. That's it.
I'd like to institute this rule. Going forward, when you start a year, if you get caught on like a drug suspension or a domestic violence issue or whatever other stupid reason that you would get suspended, you do not get suspended. You get put into a pool and they have to play a pickup game with all of those guys at the Hall of Fame game the next year. And they all have to play all 4 quarters.
I thought you were going in a different direction. I thought you were going to say their punishment is they have to play all 4 quarters of every preseason game.
Ooh, I like that one too. That one's probably more realistic.
I thought you were going to say that they all have to play Alabama.
Oh, that'd be a great game.
We discussed that last week.
I know.
We know. Alabama, Cleveland, whatever. We get it.
Nobody listens.
Nobody listens.
I
Nobody
listens. I fell asleep. But I listened.
Hey, you know what though? The plus side to this, Jeff, is Julian Edelman got thrown out of practice. So the Pats dug up their other new white wide receiver, Austin Carr from Northwestern, and he's now turning heads at camp.
Come on.
Of course he is.
You can't write this shit. You can't make it. It's this is what you missed. This is what you lacked last week. All the sound bites.
We were minimal last week.
We got Anthony again checking in Facebook Live. He said, "Hey, Hackenberg looked great at Jets practice today, but then again, everybody looks great against the Jets, so it's fine."
Ba-boom.
Hey, oh,
Anthony, you should have just stayed with those previous lines.
Yeah, they were better.
You crushed them.
We got a different. Who cares? Bobby Humphrey checking in. Adrian Beltre hit his 3,000th hit, and nobody seems to give a shit. I guess he's the third or the fourth foreign-born player to hit 3,000. Yeah,
I don't know. I know he's
I
like.
think he's the first Dominican player to hit 3,000 hits.
That's definitely true. But I feel like he didn't do it with much fanfare. I think Bobby's right. Right? Wasn't there less attention paid to that than normal?
Definitely. It's weird that like 3,000 hits isn't what it used to be, but it's kind of.
He's just flown under the radar because the Rangers have been. I don't know.
The Rangers?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's been consistently good for so long, though.
He has been, and he's a great personality for baseball. It's just kind of like no one cares when you're playing Texas, I guess.
He'd be a better one if his teammates were allowed to rip it. He hates when people touch his head.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So better if nightly someone just ripped off his helmet and smacked his head real quick, and they.
You know why he hates that? Like, was there ever any reason given?
I don't know. I think it's just like a thing.
Don't touch my head. I don't know.
Don't touch my head, bruh.
Don't touch my head, brah. You want the pipe, brah? We'll add this into who cares. The Ravens owner is resistant to Colin Kaepernick joining the team.
Just sign the guy.
Yeah, seriously.
When you say that, are you saying just to the Baltimore or like just somebody?
Well, someone signed like Luke McCown to a contract to be the backup quarterback. That guy's awful. Kaepernick at least provides some sort of stability or upside if he's going to play. Like, I would trust Kaepernick for 3 games throughout the year than some other dope who played in the CFL.
I mean, the guy did play in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, like, we're not talking about a guy that has no experience.
He can run. He's a good running quarterback. He's not like the worst player in the world. I mean, come on.
All right, Nick, while I'm setting this up, I want you to look up the starting quarterbacks of the entire league. So see if you can bring this up.
Yeah, I'll do that real quick.
I legitimately, and this is not just because everybody's talked about this dope for over a year now because he kneeled the national anthem. I legitimately think that Colin Kaepernick would be an upgrade in a starting quarterback position if I had to set the over under. If I had to put the over under at 3, Brett, what would you take before looking at the list?
Over under 3 of
over under for what? Sorry,
starters that he's better than.
Yes, of teams that would be better with him as their starting quarterback.
I would say at least 5.
Yeah, I'll take the over. I'm not sure. I might take the
over.
I might take the under with Knicks like 5.5. I might take the.
All right.
under.
So if I'm setting it at 3, you both go over.
Yeah.
All right. So let's adjust it. Let's go 4.5. Nick,
okay. I got the list.
You'll go over.
Yeah, I'll go over.
Brett.
I will also go over.
All right. Read us the list.
All right, I'll start. This is where the list starts. Jared Goff.
You think
Yes.
he's better or worse than Goff?
Right now, he's better.
Yeah, I think he's better.
All right, so that's one.
Carson Palmer.
No.
No, I would say no. Russell Wilson, no.
No.
Brian Hoyer, yes.
Yes.
That's two.
Matt Ryan, no.
Nope.
Cam Newton, no.
Nope.
Drew Brees, no. Jameis Winston, no. Mike Glennon.
Yes, as a man, Collins at least started seasons.
Matt Stafford, no. Aaron Rodgers,
Maybe.
Sam Bradford.
No, Bradford's pushing it for me.
I would still take Bradford.
I would take
Really?
I would
He's a little more stable.
Really?
Well,
two-thirds of the group agrees.
Okay.
So we're still at three.
Okay.
Dak Prescott,
No.
Kirk Cousins,
No.
Carson Wentz,
Mm-mm.
No.
Eli Manning.
No.
Okay, Phillip Rivers,
No.
No.
Derek Carr,
No.
Trevor Siemian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, right?
That's four.
So that's four.
Alex Smith.
No.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'll go no.
Yeah, I would say no. Marcus Mariota.
No.
No.
Andrew Luck.
No.
Blake Bortles.
No.
No. Okay.
Wait,
Well,
hold on. I might get overruled.
I think he's better than Blake Bortles.
I would take Colin Kaepernick over Blake Bortles right now.
Yeah.
All right, so that's
I think
five.
they'd be better off.
So the over rings true, but let's go through the rest of the league.
Okay, so we have there's Tom Savage listed as a starter for Texans, but it could be Deshaun Watson.
So either way,
Yeah, but either way, you got to give that to
I would
Kaepernick.
take Kaepernick either way. So that's six.
Yeah, Cody Kessler in Cleveland.
7.
7.
Roethlisberger, no. Andy Dalton,
No.
Joe Flacco,
No.
Tyrod Taylor.
Possibly.
No, I would take Tyrod Taylor.
I think they're like the exact same quarterback.
I think Taylor's a little bit better of a thrower. Kaepernick's a little better of a runner, I would say.
All
I
right.
think it's a push.
All right, we push.
And then we got Josh McCown or Christian Hackenberg,
Yes.
That's 8.
Ryan Tannehill.
Nikki, what do you think?
No, come on.
All right, no.
Tom Brady.
Definitely. That's 9.
It's still at 8.
That's it.
So 8. So
All right,
so I said the over under. Originally, I said the over under at 3.
I said at least 5.
Yeah, I said 5.
All right. So legitimately, why is
would-
this guy not on our roster?
Right. He's better than
If you think
starters.
he's be a viable starting quarterback for,
I would say I would comfortably put him at like 22, 23 best quarterback in the league.
Probably, yeah. That's what number
Like
8
comfortably,
is.
like you'd be like, okay, I put him at 22, and I wouldn't argue that at all. And like he still doesn't have a job as even a backup.
so why? Like, why do we really think that?
I mean,
It's because these owners, like, I guess they're just scared of like the publicity because they're all rich white guys for the most part, and they're just scared of like, oh, God forbid he, does something against, whatever.
But if he would be a better option for a quarter of the teams in the league at starting quarterback, like, how is somebody not like, no, forget this? He's better than what we've got. We're signing the guy to a veteran minimum.
because I guess because it's such a small percentage. It's only 30 teams. There's 32 teams.
32 teams.
Only 8 of the 32. That's only a problem for 8 of the 32. That's 25% of the league. It's only a problem for 25% of the league.
But it comes down to like he's definitely better than Tim Tebow, but it was this Tim Tebow effect almost like no one even wanted to even touch him after that Broncos run because they're like, well, we don't want to deal with this drama. And of course the Jets sign him, and then it becomes this whole circus effect with the media, even though he's the third string quarterback. And I guess teams just don't want to deal with that if that becomes an issue.
What I don't understand is this is a league where like Greg Hardy got a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like he beat the hell out of a woman. Like, and he gets a job, but a guy that took a knee during the national anthem. It's not like he sat there and was like F America and like was like I'm gonna sit down cross-legged and turn around and not face, like, he took a knee.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeff, on August 26th, we're all going to pay $100 a person to watch a guy who beat the shit out of a woman, beat the shit out of Conor McGregor in a fight. Like, I don't know what the the line is. I can't say. It's so ridiculously blurred for no reason.
I think, you say it's only 8 teams, but to me, it's a quarter of the league. That's a big number to me. I can't understand for the life of me. Look, as the Jets, I can't understand for the life of me why they didn't bring this guy in. I can't. I don't get it.
I think for the Jets, it might have had to do, honestly, with the publicity of it all, because and I'm not taking shots at them, but the traditional narrative in New York is that the Jets were concerned about back page headlines and the Giants were concerned about Super Bowls. And the Jets, I think, are trying, hopefully, maybe to get away from that stigma of the past before. We don't want to sign the circus. We're not saying he's a circus. We're just saying the potential is there and we don't want it.
But my point is, like, a lot of forget about the Jets. Those 8 teams we were talking about, like, if not all of them, a lot of them, the quarterback that's starting is new.
Yeah.
Right.
So
to your point,
they chose those guys. Somebody made a conscious choice to choose Mike Glennon over Colin Kaepernick, and like it just doesn't pass the smell test to me. Like you,
but not just
use your eyes, man.
Not just Mike Glennon, but to pay him like $20 million a year or whatever. And to me, a team like the Ravens, let's say Joe Flacco is out for a while, which is a very real possibility. He's an older guy, and those back injuries do not go away easily. I mean, let's just say he starts getting healthy around week 1. That could easily rupture again, and he's out for 6 more weeks. That's a team that's a contender every year. And if you're going to be a contender, you can't be going in there with a guy like whoever their backup is.
Exactly. Whoever their backup is.
Right.
No, you don't even know who the hell the guy is.
Kaepernick at least gives them a chance.
Especially Joe Flacco and the Ravens. Nick, you're dead on. The Ravens are a completely different team without Flacco and a significantly worse team.
You think so? I don't think he's that good.
It's not that he's that good. He's good for them. He really is. They run a good system with him. They play to his strength. And the other quarterback that would come in does not have those strengths, and they wouldn't be able to fix it in time to have a successful season.
I don't think he's that good either, but yeah, you're right, Brett. They play the system to him, which is why they've been so successful. I think if he goes anywhere else, he doesn't play nearly as well, and if anyone comes in to play for them, they don't play it nearly as well unless they adapt the system.
I don't know. It is what it is. I think that a quarter of the teams could use him. I'll be very surprised if by the start of the year, when they don't have to guarantee contracts, if he's not on a roster. I think by that point somebody will, reach out and sign him. But we'll see.
Who cares?
All right, let's do our last call segment here. This one I had to put on there. Pete Rose is an absolute creep.
Yep. My opinion of even him in the Hall of Fame significantly changed today.
Just because of that story?
I don't like it, man. Well, I don't like it. I don't like touching
don't
underage girls.
Don't tell the whole story, but give just the Cliff Notes version of what it is.
The Cliff Notes version really is that there were some, I guess, documents sealed in the Dowd report that came to light. I don't know for certain, but it had to do with a girl alleging that when her and Pete carried around an affair in 1975, she was underage in Ohio. Pete Rose claims she was 17. She claims she wasn't. And he was a 30-something-year-old married man with kids at that point, messing around with a 17-year-old at best. Doesn't sit well with me. Don't like it. And I know we can have that argument all day about what you did in your off the field life. Ty Cobb was a racist and he's in the Hall of Fame. That argument doesn't play here for me. Not a fan of touching kids. So you're not Hall of Fame material for me.
Nick?
I'm with Brett because I thought he should have got in. I thought the whole thing was kind of stupid for the reason that he was getting boycotted out of the Hall of Fame. But when a story like this comes out, it just gives you that really uncomfortable feeling where you don't want to even associate with the guy, let alone talk about him. And now it's just this guy can't do much worse than what he just did and the situation he just, that just came out about him. So I would stay away from him.
Do you think both? I mean, you said you thought it was in the report, in the Dowd report, right?
I think so. I think that was the language that I read.
So do you think that is a much bigger part of why he's not there than we thought?
I
We didn't
think,
know it.
well, I mean, supposedly, I guess these documents were sealed legally. I think.
Yeah. So was the testing that freaking David Ortiz.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure. most definitely.
nothing is.
You're right. That's totally a fair point. But I just I guess. I guess what happened was Outside the Lines wound up getting a sworn statement by this woman, and that was in the motion filed in Dowd's defense against Rose's defamation lawsuit. So that's where it came from.
Just a creep. I mean, like, it's one thing if you're gonna be a degenerate gambler and you assume that if you're a degenerate gambler that can't keep your money off of a baseball game where you're getting paid already very handsomely,
yes,
to do something that a large majority of the country wishes they could do. That's one thing, right? And you're assuming that that's probably not the guy's only vice.
Correct.
But then this comes out, and it's like, not that he ever painted himself as this victim, but there was a little bit. As he gets older, there's a little bit of the hobbling around old man. Like, all right, maybe he's paid his due. Maybe we should just let him in. And then something like this comes out, and it's like, is it isolated? Is it the only time he did this, or was this habitual behavior? Because he clearly has, a problem with addiction.
Sure. But you can't forgive every transgression.
Oh no, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying, we found this out.
Yeah.
Because this woman, came forward. I mean, are we looking at a situation where like he carried on with more than one?
Let's hope it's not an alleged Bill Cosby situation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, look, at a certain point, I think the panel will all agree that, that type of a relationship with an underage kid is just not appropriate. And
by the way, I messed up on that age. I was saying 17. It was before she turned 16.
Yeah, she was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a kid. I mean, it's a kid.
Yep.
And like, here he is at that time on top of the world, right? He's the greatest baseball player that ever lived at that point in certain circles, probably in the circle that he met this girl, right? I'm sure he met her in Cincinnati. I'm sure she wasn't from like some podunk town in Nebraska. I'm sure
she was from Ohio.
So the entire state idolized the guy. I mean, it's just dirtier and creepier the more you hear about it. And I'm sure we're not done hearing about it. I'm sure more awful details are going to come out. But you're right. I think whether I think that it should or not is irrelevant. Whether you think it should or not is irrelevant. I think this is the end of his quest for the Hall of Fame. I can't see it becoming a situation where, they turn the corner and say, okay, you're in now. I mean, there's just too much stacked against him. Do you see any way, Nick, that he gets in, or do you think
not after this? I think this is the nail in the coffin.
Okay.
Me too.
Well, let's segue. And Brett, I'll let you take this one as a Notre Dame guy into somebody with a little bit higher character.
Yeah, Ara Parseghian passed away today. 94 years old?
Yeah, nice run.
Yeah. Nice run, right? We all sign up for 94.
I think I want to go earlier.
I mean, it depends what I have. I don't want to like linger on, when I'm
linger longer,
a burden to people.
But, you're a burden to this show every week.
That's possible.
94, right?
Yeah, just he coached Notre Dame for 11 years. He won 95 games. He only lost 17 games. He had 2 national titles in 66 and 73. Just one of those guys. One of those guys in the pantheon of those of Newt Rockne and Frank Leahy and maybe Lou Holtz if he stops being a crazy rambling old man on TV. Of those famous Notre Dame coaches. So another one has left us, and that is a sad time. But
I heard the stat today. I think it was on the show that I think it was Malusis this morning. Nick, I could be wrong. It might not have been that show. that prior to his arrival, Notre Dame had had five straight losing seasons prior to his arrival.
Wow.
And then he did what he did, obviously, and became probably the most successful coach in Notre Dame history.
He's the third. He's ranked third in winning percentage behind Rockne and Leahy.
Right. So, but pretty darn impressive, what he was able to do. So, from a piece of trash like Pete Rose to the old ball coach. So we give you a lot of props. Boys, anything else that you want to close with that we have not yet discussed? Nothing we have written down. Anything that you are thinking of? Naps, Nikki.
Well, we're just talking about the Yankees to start the show, and we had talked previously about how our expectations before the year have changed since they got hot in that first few months of the year where they were playing really well. I think, again, the expectations have changed because if they don't win the division after trading for Sonny Gray, this season's going to be a failure.
Okay.
Bold prediction.
Brett, what do you got?
You know what? I don't have anything that's relevant right now. Like it's hot today, but one thing that we've never discussed in the show, and I just learned about a week ago, I found it amazing, was that for the past 5 years, Clayton Kershaw has had an ERA under 2. And I thought that was incredible. And he's going to look back, obviously, in about a month to come back to the Dodgers and propel them to maybe a possible World Series run. He just doesn't get as much respect as he deserves.
He might go down as one of the best pitchers ever.
Seriously. I mean, and it's tough. He's in some big shadows there, with Sandy Koufax, who to me was had one of the greatest 5-year stretches baseball's ever seen. And Kershaw's doing almost the exact same thing.
He's filthy.
It's pretty incredible.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time, everybody. You can check us out on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, everything else. Share away. Let everybody know where to find us. If you're a fan, we appreciate it. Check us out on all social media by searching at Turn 2 Podcast. Our Snapchat is
lit.
Which is totally not true. I can't tell you the last time anybody has posted on our Snapchat, but maybe tonight. You never know. You got to stay with it. That's the beauty of that.
You do.
So we appreciate it, and until then, next time, folks, we'll catch you later.
Desperandum, dear lady. Across the desert lies the promised land.
See ya.
Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop.
See ya.
Adieu. Auf Wiedersehen. Gesundheit. Farewell.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Now I signed on a Yankee clipper ship. Davy Crockett is the name, and the captain's name, it is Burgess, and they say that she's a floating shame. So very well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Now I sailed with Burgess once before, and I think that I know him well. If a man's a sailor, he will get along. If he's not, then he's sure in hell. So very well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. All right, Gio. sun is on the harbor, love. Oh, I wish that I could remain, for I know that it will be a long, long time before I see you again. So farewell, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's great to me, but my darling, when I think of thee. One more time. So farewell, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's great to me, but my darling, when I think of thee.
Well, my hangover's gone and I'm thirsty for more.